I go, ah.
I go, ah!
Black hood. We're called the Red Circle. Each and we're coming for you. Yeah, we will find you. Find you. We will hunt you. Hunt you. We will end you.
The front of Pops.
Yes.
With the graffiti that calls it
the Santa Clausin.
That calls it a death diner. And basically the premise of this episode, remember how we were going to say the Twilight Drive-In? Now we're going to say Pops. So Betty's whole really wants Pops to be saved. Ronnie's mission at the moment is avoiding Hiram.
Because he's trying to be, I'm back. And he's going for little runs in the morning. He's going to the gym at the Pembroke. He is like talking to Smithers a little bit, like, hey.
Mm-hmm.
And Ronnie is like, hey. So it looks like you want to make an effort. I don't know if I want to make an effort because, like, you're a mob boss.
Smithers is like sort of trying to keep them separate, and Hiram clocks that, and that will come back. But
it will come back.
Hiram does clock that Smithers is maybe trying to keep him and Ronnie apart for now.
Hiram clocks the Smithers tea downhouse boots, Mama Roo.
Well, of course. Archie, this episode, his little mission is...
where we left off last episode.
Yes, is trying to figure out who is terrorizing Riverdale, basically.
Who's the Black Hood? More specifically, how can he protect his father from another Black Hood attack?
And so when Jughead comes a knocking,
Archie's swinging that bat.
Swinging that bat, stubbled up. He has stubble.
Archie has not slept. He's not shaved in days since he's been posting a 24/7 watch on the Andrews house while Fred is bedridden and Mary is nursing him back to health. Even though Mary's like in and out.
Yeah, I swear to God, I did not see her.
On whether or not she's here this episode.
But alas.
But alas, because Archie's swinging his bat at Juggy.
And the reason why Jughead was even knocking on Heaven's door is because he had a little meeting with FP's lawyer, where FP's lawyer said, listen, dude, the best you're looking for is 20 years.
Yeah.
If FP takes this plea deal.
Yeah. So.
And if not, it's looking like 40.
Yeah.
And Jughead's like, I don't know what to do. My dad's going to be gone for the rest of his life. Like, I don't know what to do. And Archie's kind of like, well, what can we find out? Like, how can we fix this?
Yeah. So then we're at school.
And now we're at school. Reggie is back and better than ever.
He's leaning on lockers. He's speaking in little codes. And he's going up to, well, you guessed it, Midge Clump.
AKA
the Clumpster. And she's asking Reggie for the good stuff. And for that jingle jangle.
Guys, it looks like it's in a pixie stick.
It is in a pixie stick.
And we'll get into it more about what it does.
But Reggie's dealing jingle jangle to Midge.
And suddenly he's a drug dealer.
Suddenly Reggie is a drug dealer. Maybe it's something about like being the football team captain. You have to start dealing drugs.
Not only is he trying to deal to Midge, oh no.
He's trying to deal to Archie because Archie's stubbled core and Reggie is like, you know what will keep you up at night in more ways than one. So jingle jangle is for erectile dysfunction. Beat it up. Bonk, 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 bonk. Archie's like, dude, I don't know if I want your off-brand speed.
But he's like, I mean, I guess if it'll help me stay up, maybe more like Adderall, I guess.
Yeah. Yellow for Friendship is back.
And Hiram, we apparently Ronnie learned it from someone, and well, this somebody is Hiram.
So
I don't fucking know, guys. That was crazy. And apparently Ronnie learned from Hiram about the yellow friendship roses.
Ronnie and Betty and Kevin are in the blue and gold. Ronnie's giving a little pep talk. I don't really care. In bursts Hiram with a yellow for friendship roses and a little note being like, Ronnie, I'm so sorry I was a mob boss and I almost made Ethel's dad kill himself. And like, you're really bummed out about that. Like,
but like, it's okay, right?
It's okay,
cool,
right? Like yellow for friendship and yellow for fatherhood. So Ronnie is like, we need to like take this outside. So they have a little lap. They do a little lap outdoors.
And she's like, you know what would really make me happy? Not these damn flowers. Would be Pops being okay.
Yeah. She's like, save Pops, why don't ya?
Because what they had been talking about in the Blue and Gold was why Betty wanted to save Pops so bad. And she was saying that she just had so many memories there of her and Archie and
her and Polly,
her and her mom, and Juggy.
And
this is when, of course, Hiram bursts into the scene.
Yeah, and he's like, "Pops, you say?
Okay, I'll fix that for you."
And she's like, no, she's like, no, you're not gonna just buy this off for me, Daddy. I'm gonna like advocate. I'm gonna be an activist. I'm a bad girl now.
Bad
By
girl
that I
Riri.
mean a good girl.
Well, yes. And well,
yes. Fred is up and about.
He is. He's up and about.
We've left the school day. I think Archie's coming home.
Yeah. Before everybody had left school, Weatherby did make a little announcement.
That's right.
And well, the whole thing is Grundy died. We know this.
But
now everybody knows it.
And Archie knows it. He found out at school.
And honestly, actually, this is the catalyst for this conversation.
Yeah, you're right.
Is he comes home and he's like, dude, somebody is coming after me. In particular.
Yeah. And Fred is like, huh? And Archie's like, you, Grundy, everyone that I'm close with. Oof. And yeah, Archie's like, for some reason, the Black Hood is like killing people that I know, care about, have cared about, And
Fred's like, okay, let's pump the brakes on that.
We have no way of knowing that these two things are at all correlated.
And I'm sure Sheriff Keller and the Greendale Department are in cahoots together.
Like working it out.
Jughead is still like, what the fuck am I supposed to do about FP going to jail for forever?
Yeah.
So he asked Tallboy. He's like, okay, Tallboy, Mr. Serpent Man, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Like, can you break him out of jail?
And Tallboy just giggles and he's like, no.
Tallboy's like, okay, that's cray. Like, we're not going to do
freak.
a jailbreak. Like, what the hell is your dad going to do about that? He's like, but you know what you can do? You can go visit the snake charmer.
You need a snake charmer. And he's like, she'll give you a little legal help. She'll like tell you how to navigate the case. Jughead goes to the shifty side of Riverdale. It's kind of unclear where this is.
I think it's the south side.
Sure. And we get introduced to Penny Peabody.
And yep, she's a serpent.
She's a serpent. She went to law school. And Juggy is like, makes sense. These like gang members getting thrown in the clink. They need like someone in the legal system that's like on their side. Makes sense that they'd have like a dedicated like person. This makes sense. This is all coming together.
And especially because he and Betty had gone to Mayor McCoy previously
to be like, please let my dad go. And she was like,
I can't do that.
She was like, I'm in fact the mayor.
Like, I can't do
like
that.
I don't.
And they were like, okay, well, if you can't do that, like, what if you saved Pops? And she's like, I also can't do that because somebody did get shot there.
Penny Peabody is like, hey kid, your dad can do so much better. He doesn't need to be in jail for like any time. What you really need is for him to be forgiven by the victim's family. The jury needs to see the forgiveness and see that it's really not that big of a deal that he hid and dumped this teenage boy's body. It's not that big of a deal because the family is fine with
okay with it. And I go, okay, I don't think that's how that works, but you know what? Cool.
Awesome legal advice from the snake charmer.
Yeah, and so Jughead's like, okay, do you take PayPal's, Venmo, Zelle,
Cash App?
She's like, oh, no. Just like one day maybe.
We're friends, right? We're friends.
And like one day maybe like you'll do me a favor.
Like if like I saw that you needed help, I gave you a favor. Maybe one day you'll see me needing help and you'll give me a favor. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
And Jughead's like, yeah, sure. I mean,
he's like, okay, cool, lady. You helped me. Did she though? So now Jughead is like, well, how do I get either Cheryl or Penelope Blossom to publicly forgive my father, who they despise?
And,
right.
Well,
Juggy and Betty go to a little tea time with Cheryl and Penelope at Thistle House.
So Thornhill is no more. Ooh. Thistle House is here to stay.
Thistle House is here to stay. It's like their little cottage on their estate.
Yeah, it's still huge,
it's like the guest house. It's like a massive guest house. Anywho, Penelope is serving.
She's serving looks.
She's serving looks.
She's serving I'm being held hostage in my house by my daughter.
She's giving third-degree burns. I think Nana Rose isn't here.
Yeah.
So, what if you forgave FP? And Cheryl's like, what?
She's like, why the fuck would I do that? Because we need closure. And he's the only one alive.
He's the only one. Yeah. Like, this is not like he needs to be sent away for a long, long time. I would never feel safe with him out on the streets. Like seeing him in the grocery store of Riverdale, like that's going to bring back all of my trauma all at once. No, thank you, Jughead. He needs to be locked away forever.
And Penelope's like, I'd rather see FP fry for what he did to my JJ. And so how does Betty fix this situation? You may ask.
Blackmails Cheryl.
And yes, Cheryl is in a bustier.
At
or
school.
Just a bra, I guess.
We're back at school. Cheryl is now back in control of the Vixens. They were having practice. As you'll remember, Betty and Veronica are still on the Vixens. And now the newest recruit is Josie, who Cheryl has enlisted because of like combined mutual slay, I can only assume. Cheryl, in that altercation where she reproclaimed
to be the
HBIC, denied Betty's request to have a Vixen performance at Pops that would save it. Womp womp.
And so Betty's gonna kill two birds with one stone.
So she's cornered Cheryl in her negligee.
In the Vixen's locker room.
After school. It's just the two of them. And Betty gets real up close and personal. And she's like, hey, so Cheryl, you know that snuff film of your dad murdering your brother? You know how we had the decency not to share that publicly with the entire school and community of Riverdale?
And the internet.
And the whole internet to see. You know how we had the decency to do that? Well, turns out I made a copy of it on Jughead's laptop before we turned over the thumb drive to Sheriff Keller. So if you don't, 1, publicly forgive FP, and 2, make the Vixens save Pops, well, your dad's snuff film is gonna be on the World Wide Web. Whoa.
Cheryl's really only response to this is, okay, I will. And Betty Cooper, you're a stone cold bitch.
Betty Cooper, you're a stone cold bitch. Because you know what? Blood is thicker than maple.
Okay. So here's the sitch.
Yeah.
We're coming back with Archie. He is not satisfied with the way that Sheriff Keller is running things.
Yes.
And he's convinced that this Greendale Grundy murder and this Pops shooting of his father is connected. And so he's enlisting Alice Cooper because she has, insider info all the time.
From the Riverdale Register.
To go find out from the coroner what the fuck happened. And she goes and she just finds out.
Coroner.
Mm-hmm.
And
she finds out that the coroner from Greendale just thinks that this was a crime of passion and that it was just a hate-filled crime and it's not connected to anything.
Because the perpetrator just grabbed something close by and used it to strangle Grundy, and Alice is like, well, what did he use? And the coroner is like,
a
cello bow.
And Archie's like, well, that's not just a random item. That's something that is sentimental. But Alice is like, I honestly the evidence is not pointing to them being connected. I don't know what to tell you, baby
different
boy.
Murder weapons, seemingly different MOs,
it's not looking like the same person.
Yeah.
And so Archie's a bit defeated by this, but he's like, okay, I guess I'll be satisfied with this for right now. Continuing with Archie. We do get a little scene where he is hanging out at his house and starts swinging on somebody again. But this time, it's Reggie Mantle.
Oh my God.
Coming to bring him drugs.
So Archie sees a dark hooded, black masked, ski masked figure.
Because Reggie's a fucking asshole.
So Reggie's sneaking around outside the Andrews house in the backyard, freaking it. Mm-hmm. I can only assume.
Mm-hmm.
And Archie comes swinging his big old bat, and it almost takes out Reggie. And Reggie's like, dude, stop it. And I'm like, keep going.
But
and
Reggie's like, here's your drugs, but also
maybe you don't need them.
maybe you don't need them. Also, he has a gun. You're bringing a baseball bat to a gunfight? Do you really think that's going to do anything, dude?
He being the Black Hood.
Oh, yeah.
We're at the Pembroke.
And, well, we have some major slayfulness going on right now because it turns out Pops is being bought out by an anonymous buyer.
We love to hear
an anonymous buyer. And Pop says it's Chugmo, the liquor store, but Veronica isn't that convinced. So she comes home and just asks her parents straight up, did you buy Pops?
I told you not to. I'm being Miss Advocate, Miss Advocacy, Miss Activism. I'm anti-Chugmo. What the hell, guys? Keep businesses local.
And Hiram and Hermione are like, Miss Thing, we did not buy this.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I fucking know you did, you little snakes. And they're like, no, like, we're not like that anymore. Like, we don't do that anymore. And she's like, oh, really? And she pulls out the letter.
Oh, the letter that Hiram sent her, forcing her to testify with threats against Hermione.
And Hermione goes, oh, that old thing? Honey, I wrote that.
Honey, I wrote that to master manipulate you into testifying so we could save your father. And Ronnie goes, well, shit, I kind of hate both of you now.
Yeah, she's like, oh.
But I guess kind of like,
she's like, well, I guess Hiram didn't do it, so that's a point for him.
Yeah, it's a 1 up for Hiram and then like 3 back for Hermione, which we hate to see.
We do hate to see, but that's kind of where we're leaving that. The next day at school, we have the besties.
Yeah.
And by besties, I mean a weird coupling of Veronica and Jughead talking. And they're talking as sometimes they do with like Betty and Archie are just like indisposed, I guess.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, so I guess we're friends, right? And they were talking and Jughead ends up giving the worst advice he could have possibly given to Veronica at this moment.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know that. He thinks he's coming from a good place because he's saying, well, you know, with all this stuff happening with my dad, like
with everything that just happened with Archie's dad, like if your dad is actually trying to make an effort, like what if you gave him a chance?
Like maybe he is really not buying Pops. Maybe he is really trying to turn over a new leaf. Maybe the yellow is for friendship. And
Ronnie's like, Okay,
maybe I will.
And it's like, ogre.
And then we finally go
to that trial you've all been waiting for.
Cheryl Blossom is on the stand.
She was blackmailed and she's talking, she's gabbing, she's like, so hey, we forgive. We're trying to get closure through forgiveness, not like revenge, like la 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 la. And the judge is like, wait, Diva.
That doesn't mean fucking shit.
Yeah, like also,
he still did
like,
that.
He still he still did this all of his own free will, which is really messed up. And Cheryl, light bulb, ding ding. She's like, okay, so actually, Clifford threatened FP and said that he would kill Jughead unless FP did all of the twisted things that FP did to hide JJ's body.
And I overheard Mumsy and Popsicle talking about it.
And that's how I know this, and that's why you shouldn't throw FP into jail. He was under duress. And
the judge is like, oh, well, if that's the case, we'll have to reconsider and reevaluate the sentencing.
Yeah. So
a win.
A big win. Cheryl is playing 4D chess, and Juggy maybe gets to see his dad again.
It's really sweet. It's a lovely hug that they have.
It's a lovely hug that they have. And Betty is cheesing. Betty is cheesing because she's like, I helped.
I did. And she did.
I blackmailed Cheryl, my cousin. And
my cousin.
And Cheryl comes down from the stand and she's like, y'all are lucky that I'm smart and slay.
And that I lied under oath. And honestly, she didn't really lie.
She didn't really, because we know.
The only lie she told is that she heard this conversation happen. But like, we know that Clifford did indeed threaten Jughead. And so does everybody. But I guess maybe if it was coming from FP, it was like, well, he would say anything.
Yeah.
She did lie under oath, but that's okay.
Perjury, sister.
Exactly.
This is all culminating. The retro vintage 50s night at Pops. And what a slayful theme. They really ate that up.
Yes. And this picture is purely so I can just laugh at Jughead in his little 50s uniform.
In his little Pops outfit.
He looks so cute.
Yeah, we descend on the night of the Pops revival. All of the vixens are working the event in little roller skates and their little like
Hooters uniforms.
Essentially, it's kind of unfortunate. All of the men are in like full body white butcher outfits, and I would say,
yeah, it's kind of giving like milkman outfits.
It's giving milkman, and oh my god, that just reminded me
of the milkman.
Up comes Josie and Melody, but you're wondering, wait, where the heck is Valerie? If Betty is forcing the Pussycats to perform, and for Josie to go against her mother Mary McCoy's wishes, where the heck is Valerie?
And well, don't worry. We get a really good explanation about it. Valerie has a norovirus. So, God, we need another pussycat because Valerie has the norovirus. You know, one of them.
And
anyone.
Who should answer the call but Sherelle Blossom?
Sherelle Blossom.
What shall they perform to save Pops?
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
It's damn right, it's better than yours.
I can teach you, but I have to charge back.
And by the way, it's that high. I remember watching this and going, now what the fuck?
Everybody's outside while the Pussycat Cheryls are on the roof, and like Archie's looking around. This is his first time being back at Pops, by the way, since his father was almost murdered there. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
The thing that makes me ooh.
Archie, like I said, he's outside. He's scoping it out. He's being there to be supportive for his friends, and he does like Pops, and he wants Pops to stay open. But also, his father was just shot there. So he goes in. He's hallucinating.
He's
trauma flashbacking. He's seeing blood on the floor and roller skaters going through the blood.
Which is a great visual. Love it.
Great visual. Love it. I don't know what snaps him out of it. I think it's the sight of Veronica.
Oh, I know what snaps him out of it. It's Veronica saying, hey, Daddy-O. Hey, Daddy-O. Glad you made it.
So Archie is brought back to reality. Whoop, there goes reality.
Mm-hmm.
With Daddy-O, and they kind of like nuzzle up against each other. They do a full kiss, I think.
Yeah,
Ronnie
I think
and
they
Archie.
do.
And Archie's like, you know what?
We're here, we're queer, and we're here with Pops.
Time
dies.
Everybody is at Pops, not just these two lovers, but also the slayest of diva slays, Alice Cooper. And she's
taking pictures like a middle-aged woman.
And she is on the case.
And she originally showed up to, chronicle the end of Pops.
To be like, rest in peace, Pops. But then that milkshake song.
And it really just got her going. And she went, you know what? I'm going to pivot my story.
Yeah.
So she's taking a picture. Who's she taking a picture of? The serpents are walking into Pops to show their support.
But she's like, oh my gosh, it's official. This town is going into the gutter.
We're covering up Betty, but just know her and Jughead were smooching, and it was really cute.
They were smooching. Jughead's doing a lot of like finger on chin action,
which like can be cute.
Yeah,
can be cute. And they get interrupted by Sherelle Blossom
to be like, hey, so remember that flash drive that you promised me if I like lied under oath and like performed my goodies?
She's goodying.
She's goodying. So Goody Proctor gets her thumb drive. Betty's like, I promise this is the only copy. And if I was Cheryl, I'd be like,
what? Take the one out of your shoe. Like I would be like, let me pat you down. Yeah. Like that's how I feel like you should actually act around Betty Cooper, but here we are.
Hey. So Sherelle gets the final thumb drive. It seems like the snuff film of her father has been wrapped into a little bow. It's solved. Back to Alice Cooper's sleigh.
Mm-hmm. She's taking more pictures.
Oh.
What's happening in the parking lot?
Of Pops. A drug deal.
More specifically, a jingle jangle deal.
Between Reggie and Midge and Moose. Because Midge and Moose
are an item.
Thick as
They're going steady.
And Reggie, from that deal earlier, this is him delivering the goods to Midge.
Mm-hmm.
The clumpster.
And
Alice is like, oh my God.
This town is going to shit.
First, the gang Now the drug deals, the North Side is losing it, time and place, and you did it at my milkshake dinner. Speaking of everybody being there, including some seedy characters, in walks Hermione and Hiram.
And they're like, oh, lovely, lovely Veronica. We love you so much, and we're here to show our support, and we made a little charitable contribution to Pops, but it was just a little charitable contribution. We didn't buy Pops, okay?
Yeah, in the name of Lodge Industries, we wanted to, like, be, like, much like you, an advocate.
Pop makes a whole speech about how wonderful Veronica is, and how beautiful she is,
Pop
and how
does
amazing she is,
yeah,
and also how good Betty is for making everything work perfectly.
So after this little speech, Hermione leans over to Hiram and she's like, I didn't realize we were in the business of charitable contributions. And he's like, oh, we're not. As of 5 minutes ago, we're the proud owners of Pop's Chocolate Shop.
And I paid off that imbecile Pop Tate to not tell anybody about our secret acquisition of this land. And he's like, also, beautiful, beautiful wife, thank you for taking credit for my evil letter that I wrote.
Because it turns out Hiram actually did threaten Hermione, and he is a bad guy. And Hermione just took the blame for the letter, losing 3 points with Veronica, just because she's afraid of Hiram. She's complicit. She's like a co-mob boss.
Something like that.
I go,
I go, ah! So
it's post-Pops.
We've left Pops, and well,
what's a better way to heal?
To find closure from our trauma than sitting down with your mother and watching your father kill your brother.
So Cheryl shows Penelope the snuff film. And we don't really ever get, I'd say, either of their reactions.
They're just like, and now we can close this chapter. We're leaving Pops.
The lodges are going back to the Pembroke.
Evil Hermione, Hiram monologue. And well, to continue their evil acts,
they fired Smithers.
They just say Smithers went on vacation.
Yeah, to visit his mother
or
upstate.
Something. His mother girl.
Oh, his mother girl.
He's old. I don't think.
His mother girl.
His mother girl.
His mother girl.
And he's been replaced by a.
She would be
dead and gone. Dead as a doornail. Jacob Marley was dead as a doornail. And he's been replaced by Hottie Boom Body Andreas. He's hot. So we had to include him. And he also replaced our dear Smithers.
Smithers took the substance.
Guys, Hottie Boom Body came out of Smithers. Naughty Boom Body.
So we're back at Pops, because of course we are.
And another deal is going on outside of Pops, but a little bit down the road. So not outside of Pops. So actually, we're walking down the road and we're going to the bridge. It's true, actually. I am being serious about that.
You are. Jughead is narrating. He's like, something, dark underbelly, our little American town, la la la. It's Archie meeting up with Dilton Doily.
And Dilton motherfucking Doily gives Archie what? A gun. Mm-hmm.
A gun. Of course. This is Dilton's intro to season 2, because of course Dilton is here.
And he's given Archie a gun. And Archie says what everybody wants to hear when you give somebody a gun. He says, I'm not crazy.
Yeah. So it's official. Following Reggie's prompting, following his 3 days no sleep, stubbled face, ramblings, suspicions, murder, fear, Archie got a gun.
And we're at Lover's Lane.
We're at Lover's Lane. Area closes at sunset. Alcohol is prohibited. But they didn't say anything about Jingle Jingle. Well, Midge is dosing.
The Clumpster.
The Clumpster is...
And Moose.
And Moose, they're dosing on Jingle Jingle.
They're going crazy.
They're going 1 for 1. Because you'll remember, it makes you...
horny.
Freak 'em. The Black Hood shows up.
So the Black Hood shows up and he shoots them. Okay, what do you want from me? He shoots
Point blank. 5 or 6 times.
He shoots the fuck out of them.
A lot. And then that's it.
And their fate is unknown.
And then their fate is unknown.
So Archie's still in the lead. Unfortunately, he cannot, well, maybe not unfortunately, but he cannot shake the Fred
Only Ronnie contribution was Andreas. Let's be real.
Let's be real, and honestly, what a great contribution. Betty is still lagging, but
she's catching up.
She'll get her flowers, don't worry.
Cheryl is eating, of course. Juggy is kind of going through a lot. Like, the fact that FP is getting out of jail is actually, like, so big. I feel like we didn't give it, like,
enough flowers.
Enough
it's
flowers.
Good.
It's like, yeah.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Is it necessarily a moral or just thing?
Not at all.
But it's good for us to be able to see Skeet Ulrich on our screens again.
It's good for us to skeet.
To skeet.
Hiram again doing his due. Alice has made it on the board. Thank God.
Thank God.
Can't believe she wasn't there last episode.
But
so happy.
And we haven't talked about it enough. She looks amazing.
Oh, she looks amazing in every single scene. She's like eating everyone down.
Mm-hmm.
You'll note that Polly has been MIA.
Even though she is living at the Cooper household, so where the fuck is she?
Is a major plot component.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say a major character because they don't give her anything to do, but
yeah, she
is a
is
major plot
carrying
device.
incest twins, so that's pretty big.
So Hermione's also here doing her due. Reggie's dealing. Penelope slaying.
Midge is midging.
Oh yeah, Midge and Moose are now
moosing.
on the board along with Penny Peabody. They're both being shot. Are they gonna have any other stills after this? Who knows?
Who knows? But we do have a Black Hood.
But we do have another couple Black Hood
shooting Midge and Moose. So
yeah.
Good for him.
Good for.
Pops make a whole Pops makes.
Pops makes a hole.